back in DayZ. We're on Xbox Series X, and we have some general details on the 2021 updates for DayZ. I guess I was wrong. There's going to be quite a lot of support for the game moving onwards into the next year. But let's recap with the sales details that was provided by Bohemia, which obviously makes the game Bohemia Interactive if you didn't know. So they did 4 updates this year. Obviously, a lot of things got delayed due to, the global situation around COVID and everything like that. So they sold 1.3 million copies of the base game of DayZ. It's their biggest game. It had 6.4 million active players, and they sold 760,000 DLC copies. Now, these aren't like exact numbers. I've slightly rounded up. It was like 1.298 million games sold, or 758,664 DLC sold. So that's just generally kind of the rounding, so you get an idea of the numbers, just so that you are aware of that. But anyways, obviously the game is still selling extremely well. It's still doing great. And I'm actually shocked we haven't seen more DLC announcements, considering the fact that the DLC sold that much this year, and it's an older DLC at this point, right? Like it's not even its first year of release. So with that, we actually got a lot of details about new updates. So obviously, we mentioned that they released only 4 updates this year, and I believe it was 4 of the 5 updates that they had planned when we talked about the beginning of 2020. I can't believe it's already been another year of playing DayZ, but alas, here we are. I can't believe I keep getting stuck on this game. Oh, did you see the flashes over there? That was crazy. I don't know if that's just a glitch. So anyways, they talked about it, joining Game Pass. It's still on Game Pass. They did events, they did Halloween, they did Christmas. But what's really interesting, because a lot of the discussion of the game, of why we thought it was winding down development-wise, was that the team actually grew smaller, that was dealing with like DayZ on a day-to-day, like updating things, adding things to the game, and supporting it. But they actually, I guess their team has now grown with the hiring of several new talents that will help continue working on DayZ. So I guess they're going to have some further support for the game in regards to development. That's kind of good, because that means they're actually putting people on supporting the game and pushing it forward. This is a modded server too, by the way, if you're not familiar with why there's buildings and stuff here. So it's like a community modded server on the Series X. Because I can do that, and you can see the details and everything like that. But anyways, I guess I should show that so you can actually see what the server is. It's like that. Anyways, so there are several major updates being planned for 2021. They're going to focus on delivering new assets and fixes, improving the game's balance and stability. And if that wasn't enough, they're actually starting preparation work on next-gen compatibility. So the game runs in backwards compatibility right now on Xbox Series X/S, so Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, and on PlayStation 5. So with that, it actually sounds like they're going to be doing next generation upgrades. And that was something I didn't think they were going to do. So that's really interesting. We could possibly see huge improvements to the game in regards to, the rendering distance, the texture loading, maybe even the frame rate getting boosted. I don't know if the resolution is going to go any higher. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll get a little bit sharper textures and stuff. I don't know. That's just really exciting to me, because it seems like in general they're really doubling down on DayZ, which is kind of exciting to see. And yeah, I guess that's really good. And their other game, Vigor, which you can see on the channel, that one did really well too. 11 updates, 5 seasons, 4.6 million players across Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation. So I thought I would note that too. I will also check out Mini DayZ, Mini DayZ 2, because I guess that's on Xbox, or not Xbox, jeez. I guess that's in Canada on iOS as one of the geo-locked places for Mini DayZ 2. So I'll probably do something on there. I downloaded it, never played it, but I was like, okay. So they're also talking about some improvements to their engine technology. So I guess Bohemia has been quietly working on, behind the scenes, on their new Infusion engine. So this investment in custom-built next-gen technology is a top priority for Bohemia, and 2020 saw a ton of improvements into this being a thing. So that's kind of interesting as well. engine-wise, because whenever teams, kind of work on new engines, it usually means they're bringing some real changes to the technology and the games and how they run. So that's kind of really cool as well. They upgraded the rendering and the physical engine, improved performance by a mile, and employed a ton of optimization techniques. They implemented many features that were specifically requested by their game team. Significantly improved support for creating mods is part of that. And finally, they spent a massive amount of time implementing an infrastructure that will support crossplay and user content. So that's kind of really interesting. Yeah, crossplay and user-generated content across various gaming platforms. So that very much means we may be seeing better mod support with this Infusion engine. So that's kind of interesting. So they also noted that they expect to continue working hard through 2021 to make Infusion, it's like ENFUSION, their most powerful and versatile engine to date, supported by user-friendly set of development and modding tools. So it sounds like they may be cooking up something even a bit bigger using the engine down the road. I know there's always talks about, kind of DayZ being like a long-lasting game, but I've always thought that at some point they might want to redo DayZ or do like a DayZ 2 or something like that. And this very well could power something that adds a lot more freedom for, that type of development, which I think is kind of fascinating. And I have not really, I saw the one guy there, but I don't know where he went. And I'm not run into anybody here. I don't know, I just thought that kind of information was interesting and definitely something that I needed to talk about. Because we usually, last year we had a roadmap. And they trickle out information, and I try to keep you up to date with things that are important with DayZ, because I'm not doing DayZ on a day-to-day basis anymore, just because it's not as of interest to people nowadays. Which is, it's cool, it's fine. I check out DayZ from time to time. It's interesting, it's something a little bit fun to do. But yeah, when you get these big info drops like this, which I guess, because I was just okay, I should see. Every once in a while I look up, because I used to have, when I did the day-to-day DayZ videos, people would come to me and tell me, oh, they just announced this. But now it's kind of I'll just be randomly looking it up. So late last night I was like, okay, well, it's that time. We'll see if DayZ's doing anything new. Because obviously this is when they did their big roadmap last year, which actually most of it actually kind of released, I guess you could say. But what I'm saying in general is the fact that I was like, okay, we'll check it out. And then I guess just a few hours prior, they'd actually announced this sort of year in review, I guess you could say, for the company. So that's kind of interesting. And it's neat that we're still getting this support, and that they're going to continue updating the game with new features and stuff. I think that's kind of exciting. It just shows that there's a lot of potential for them to do more things with the game, right? And I think that's kind of exciting as well, because I figured they weren't necessarily really... Oh, we got each other! Oh, that was deadly. Because we had assumed that they weren't going to actually be updating it. It actually sounded last year like they were winding down development on the game. Staff kind of disappearing, the updates becoming less and less frequent. And I know this was even the case before, the whole situation last year, obviously, that we still are living in. But, that kind of just pointed to me, development-wise, when you look at games, that things weren't really still going well for DayZ. But obviously, the game is still going strong. It's still selling well. I assume they're having massive success through Game Pass as well, because you see so many people diving into it. Obviously, I get a lot of questions about the health of servers. PlayStation was decent last time I was on it to do a video. In December or November, I did an updated review for 1.10. On Xbox, there's tons of full servers. It's healthy. It's looking good. So I guess maybe on PC it's even doing better than ever, but I think we've got a lot of DayZ content to come, so that should be really exciting. And of course, as usual, we follow the same video type pattern, at least I do. We'll send, as soon as we have info, I'll kind of do a video talking about all the new features, and then from there, we do an update features video. We'll do an updated review with every update that comes out. and talk about other elements of the experience. We're actually probably due for a 2021 review of the game, even though we just did one back with the 1.10 update. But I like to do like a year review so that we can talk about where the game's at after years pass. So that's kind of a good point to do that, and it's good for the SEO, and I get an extra video out of it, so it's beneficial. But anyways, I'm hearing somebody load something, I think, and that's not good because this does not have ammo. Oh, there's an ammo box. Well, that's cool. That's not the ammo I need, but it's neat. But yeah, if you've been looking at playing DayZ, you've been cautious about DayZ because you're not sure, what development is going to look like. Obviously, there's a lot to come, and there's a lot that's going to be happening, because several updates, if they're actually going to deliver that over the air. I do wonder if that's going to be more... I wonder if that's going to be more, smaller updates or bigger updates. I was just kind of looking at him in the window. Oh, I was gonna like wave to him. I thought that was pretty funny. He just like freaked out and started attacking me for no reason. I was just like waving at him through the window. It was pretty entertaining, but yeah, that's about all the details we have now. Of course, I'd love to hear what you think we're going to be seeing over the year. I generally don't know. Maybe I'll have to do like some sort of another one of those video things where we talk about updates and stuff, because that could be fun. But yeah, it sounds like we've got a lot of DayZ action to come, and I look forward to hopefully presenting it and having fun, because I think 2021 is going to be an awesome year for games and content, and I think I'm going to generally just kill it, so that's kind of exciting.